Hey everyone, Pushing Up Roses here, and welcome back to That Time on Murder, She Wrote, where we discuss all things Murder, She Wrote, including mystery tropes, Jessica Fletcher lore, the mysterious world of Cabot Cove, and some behind-the-scenes trivia. Of course, we will also be riffing on the episodes because this show was known for veering off the rails, making it rife for some good-natured snark. Today we'll be looking at a newer episode from Season 11. I chose it after I found a Reddit thread describing how terrible it is, and while it's not the worst episode by any means, it does have a certain cheesiness to it. Maybe that can be attributed to Ethan Embry, who you may know from films like Can't Hardly Wait, Vegas Vacation, and Empire Records. Or perhaps it's because literally everyone in this storyline is being blackmailed, except for our wonderful protagonist, Jess. She's perfect, obviously.
Oh my.
I do very much enjoy watching these later seasons. This show began in the mid-80s and ran to the mid-90s, so we get to see fashion changes, technology upgrades, upcoming actors and actresses. It's a journey. Jess goes from using a typewriter to this sexy computer with an Acer View 35 monitor. And while episodes in the show's hometown of Cabot Cove are rarer in these later seasons, as there's only so many people they can kill in a small town, this one does take place there, so get your academic selves ready for Murder, She Wrote, School for Murder. Something interesting I hadn't noticed before is that the earlier episodes always begin with Tonight on Murder, She Wrote, with a short little teaser of what to expect, normally just quick cuts from the episode, and that has changed somewhere along the line. This episode begins with more of an intro, where we see two students engaging in some petty theft at St. Crispin's private school.
Hey, Billy, baby. Taking you for a little trip, all right?
Forsooth, this is a midsummer's nightmare. Hey everyone, Rose is from the editing room here, and I just wanted to check to make sure that was true. I don't know what hit me, but something made me want to go into the other episodes and see if the other intros from the newer seasons had Tonight on Murder, She Wrote. And they do. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know why this episode doesn't have Tonight on Murder, She Wrote, but yeah, I guess maybe some of them don't have it. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and correct myself. Okay, bye. I was just as surprised as you to find Cabot Cove has this prestigious prep school, considering the local hotspots are the dock and a gossipy hair salon.
Hail, Prometheus.
I'm sorry, what now?
Hail, Prometheus.
What in the world is this? So this is the worst version of the Dead Poet Society. Instead of learning more about art, this secret society is more interested in stealing it. Characters of interest are Mike Saraceno, his girlfriend Sarah Tyler, and the head of the society, overzealous Colin Forbes. You may recognize Sarah as she is the original Audrey Griswold from the first Vacation movie. Interestingly, she had no crossover with Ethan Embry in these films, who was in Vegas Vacation as her brother Rusty. Jessica just happens to be guest teaching at the school. Here she is going over motivations for murder.
So you see, the basic motivations for murder really haven't changed much since those ancient times.
We know how to commit murder now. Professor Harry Matthews implores the class to come forward if they know anything about the Shakespeare-Elvis swap. Oh, ugh, that's a rough-looking Elvis. Guess the sculptor didn't understand the meaning of "don't be cruel." His eyes are like 10 feet apart. You may recognize this actor from his extensive television work. He's probably most known for playing Chase on the soap opera Falcon Crest, of which I have not seen a single episode. Mike is an exceptional student, though he keeps getting in trouble for participating in school pranks for Colin, who promises him it'll be beneficial for his future.
What's wrong, Leg?
It's nothing a miracle won't cure.
Oh, okay, bye. Harry expresses his dislike for the Society of Prometheus.
I tell you, that club serves no constructive purpose except giving the kids a false sense of belonging.
Kids feeling like they belong is terrible. We then find out that Harry is in the running to become the new headmaster. He's competing with longtime slimeball James Ryerson, who I guess just casually jogs around the campus every now and then. He's determined to rule out Harry, as he kind of stole his girlfriend.
I wonder how long she'll hang on once your prospects fade.
That's right. Women don't want flowers or chocolates. They want a headmaster. That's what really gets me going. Talk about playing headmaster and servant, am I right? Unfortunately, not as all what it seems. Ryerson stole the plans Harry was to present to the school board with a few changes.
He proposes slashing the budget for what he calls non-essential courses of study.
Meaning the arts. Also in this scene is Irv Trippldinger, whose name I can never remember because it reminds me of that wine commercial scene from Schitt's Creek.
Herb Trippldinger.
Jess notices his desk drawer had been tampered with.
Well, that might explain this, Harry.
It's cocaine.
ashes from a cigar?
Oh, sorry, just cigar ashes. Another professor, Avery Nugent, is known for smoking cigars, and Harry believes that he helped Ryerson sabotage him. Why does Colin look like Chandler Bing?
Chenandelar Bong.
Ryerson pulls Colin aside for falling asleep in class.
I was up real late, last night hitting the books.
Well, some of them may be about to hit you back.
Oh, burn, he got you! So there's some interesting school politics going on here. Colin's grandfather is apparently very good friends with the current headmaster, and he vaguely threatens that he could put Ryerson in trouble. Ryerson shoots back with his own threat, stating if Colin fails his next exam, he'll let his grandfather know, which would put his future education in jeopardy. Oh hey, Sheriff Metzger is here. I just love a Ron Masick moment. He's there investigating the thefts on campus. Jess appeals to Dr. Purcell, current headmaster, asking him to rethink expelling Mike. This actor has been on Murder, She Wrote before, as a professor in season 7 and a doctor in season 10 from the episode The Legacy of Borby House, which I covered on this channel. He definitely plays eccentric professors very well.
So you must be aware there's been a rash of thefts on campus, both petty and not so petty.
I mean, did you see that Elvis bust? I'm all shook up.
But you're saying that Mike is responsible?
Look, we can't go on together with suspicious minds. Because Jess is very, very charming, she asked Purcell to give her some time to talk to Mike. Unfortunately, that happens off screen, and we cut to Mike happily telling Sarah he won't be expelled thanks to Jess. Also, I love that in this shot, you can see Ethan Embry waiting inside the door for his cue. It's really weird that this all happened off screen. Normally, in Murder, She Wrote, Jess would appeal to the troubled characters in more detail. Meanwhile, Harry finds Avery and accuses him of stealing his school plans and giving it to Ryerson, but Avery doesn't seem to know what he's talking about. We also get this quick scene with him, betting on school teams. It's so weird. This episode is making everyone extremely sleazy and unlikable. At a school social, Harry then accuses Ryerson directly of the theft.
I'll tell you what, why don't you take your accusations to Miles Purcell and the board? I'm sure they'll be intrigued to learn the extent of your fantasies.
This man is amazing at acting with his mouth. Look at that reaction. Colin tries to blackmail Mike into stealing Ryerson's exam key so he doesn't fail, saying he'll frame him for a laptop theft if he doesn't comply, and that his own fingerprints won't be on it.
Remember the plastic gloves I said I had to wear because I had a rash? I didn't have a rash, Mike.
You faked a rash? Talk about a rash decision. Listen, I can't believe this, but there are more characters involved with this plot, including Irv Trippldinger.
Irv Trippldinger.
I guess he had a smash hit 20 years ago with Love Is Like This, and he's roped into playing it. Harry's girlfriend, Claire, tries to approach Ryerson, asking him to withdraw himself from consideration for headmaster since he did steal Harry's ideas.
There is a price.
Your earrings. He says he'll consider if Claire agrees to be his lover again. Unfortunately, Harry just happens to be there and overhears their conversation.
I'll stop by your place about midnight.
I won't explain. All right, it's mail time.
Yet another royalty check for my golden oldie.
Did he get a royalty check for playing at that party? Harry is in a bad mood, refusing to speak to anyone due to being too nervous about the headmaster decision.
Harry hasn't been picking up any of his phone calls, Jessica.
Or blinking. The school board elects Ryerson, much to everyone's surprise, and Harry does not take it well. I'm drinking Jaeger. Claire says she did not go to Ryerson's house that night, and that she loves him and everything will be fine, but he won't hear it. I mean, look at this guy. He's drinking from a paper bag on campus, and now he's driving? This is the guy we're supposed to root for? I think the school dodged a bullet. Sheriff Metzger visits Jess to update her on the campus thefts and notices she's listening to Irv Trippldinger. Remember from earlier?
Hearing him made me dig it out.
I'm gonna have to get him a royalty check for $2 now. So this guy is dead. Oh God, is it Irv Oppenheimer? Oh, it's Ryerson. Yeah, that makes sense. Mike felt pressure to steal the exam Colin asked for, and while he and Sarah snuck into his office, they found his body. They cheese it, and the body is found the next day. Of course, Jessica is on the case, already interrogating people. Harry says he was out drinking and driving again, and it's getting very hard to sympathize with this dude.
How was he killed?
He was struck on the side of the head by a heavy pointed object that...
The Shakespeare bust? The Irv Trippldinger record? While doing her obligatory snooping, Jessica finds a small charm on the floor at the crime scene because the police are absolute crap at their job.
It's from a little tiny bicycle.
What is this, a bike for ants? Jess brings Sarah into the station, showing her the small wheel.
It's this tiny wheel. I believe it's off your charm bracelet.
How in the fuck did she notice that? Sarah and Mike confess they were there but didn't kill him and are able to describe the crime scene to Jess. Hey, nice lamp. Anyway, things seem to be improving since Ryerson's untimely demise. Mike atones for his pranks by returning the stolen laptop, and Harry is made headmaster even though he puts students in direct danger by drinking on campus.
I have to hold you for the murder of Jim Ryerson.
Welp, just fuck up my shit. Somebody planted some police files on Ryerson and Harry's locker, which also had blood smears on them, so great. I cannot believe how much shit happens in this episode. It's like it was directed by David Lynch, and you thought Mulholland Drive was hard to digest. It's nothing compared to Murder, She Wrote. They also look into Colin Forbes and his safe of stolen goods, including Ryerson's exam. Look, I know a guy died, but I have to ace this test. The suspects don't stop there. Oh no. Now Dr. Purcell is involved. Ryerson was blackmailing him because he knew about a drunk driving incident he had when he was 16. Okay, so Ryerson got him to assign him as headmaster, but he didn't kill him, and neither did Colin, Harry, Avery, Mike, Sarah, Claire, and whoever the fuck else I missed. But who is left? Well, it's time for the Jessica Fletcher epiphany. Jessica realizes that Mike's statement doesn't match the crime scene photos. Mike said there was a framed record on the floor, but the photo shows it on the wall. Oh my god, I was joking about the record being the murder weapon, but it actually is. Man, we're gonna have to give Irv more royalty checks. Okay, so bear with me. Jim Ryerson was blackmailing Irv Trippldinger, because that's not Irv Trippldinger. Oh no, this gets amazing. This guy stole Irv's identity after he died and posed as him to collect royalty checks. How did Jess know? Well, it's obvious. Irv Trippldinger had huge hands and this rando doesn't. Didn't you notice? Irv confesses that he was Tripplidinger's caretaker and he simply didn't report his death. He found success as Trippldinger with the royalties and his job, and this is just absolutely wild.
They never would have hired Joey Mallow.
No one ever noticed, besides Ryerson, that this isn't Grammy Award-winning Irv Trippldinger.
Bing, live hanger.
When Ryerson said he was going to cut the arts department, including music, this guy lost his marbles and struck him with the framed record.
I use that royalty money on my students. I take them to concerts, I buy them records and tapes, enrich their lives.
Honestly, I'm kind of on Mallow's side here. Ryerson was a shithead. Mallow did a public service. Everything is back to normal. Harry is back to being headmaster.
He's going to be a very unusual headmaster.
He's gonna drink on campus. And Mike returns the Shakespeare bust.
He's back.
I kind of want Elvis back. Well, that was a lot. This episode definitely had some of the slimiest characters in the entire season, with Ryerson acting comedically vile, Colin being weird, and everyone else just being completely unlikable. Except for Mike and Sarah, they were pretty wholesome the entire time. Ethan Embry is basically a human puppy, so it was hard to dislike him. I did feel that there were too many characters in this episode, and everyone was blackmailing everyone else, or drunk driving, or running away, so I don't think this is one of the strongest episodes from the show. But the performances are really fun. Everything is so over the top, though I wish Lansbury had some more dramatic scenes. And as usual, Metzger was just kind of there, looking befuddled. I also can't believe I was supposed to be rooting and sympathizing for this dweeb. I think Jessica should have been voted in as headmaster so she could teach the kids more about the motivations of murderers. The one pro I'll put out there is that the mystery can sort of be solved, as nothing was hidden off screen. In the scene with Mike and Sarah, the record is on the floor by Ryerson's body, and then later it is shown back on the wall multiple times. You wouldn't be able to figure out the false identity motive, but the evidence of the murder weapon is there. Anyway, that was School of Murder from Season 11 of Murder, She Wrote. If you have any wild or off-the-rails episodes you want me to cover, please leave a suggestion in the comments. I'm also now looking for the worst episodes, so if you have thoughts on those, I would love to hear them. Thanks again, and as always, happy sleuthing. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my review on another wild episode of Murder, She Wrote. I hope you got a good chortle from my review. If you want to see more from me, I have a lot of these breakdowns, but first, a shout out to my patrons who make it possible for me to keep writing these videos. If you want to support me, check out my campaign. A little goes a long way, and if not, shares, comments, and likes are amazingly helpful and appreciated. If you want to see more from me, I have a few suggestions on the screen. If you want to see more snark on Murder, She Wrote, check out the video on the right. That's the last review I did before this one. If you want to see my holiday episode, check out the video on the left where I review Hot Frosty. Please watch it. Netflix tried to take it down. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.